I pressed the wrong button. Okay, great. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Hello. So you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, can you write if you guys have any problem to execute Unity software? So everything is working correctly, right? So I think it's okay either using the Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio community version. I think as long as you are able to execute and open the file that I will give you, I think it's okay for today's workshop. And we are, as Viana mentioned, we are we are recording the video right now. So at the end of the day, you guys can revisit the material to see, if you guys missed something, okay? So yeah, we have, in a sense, we have very limited time. So I guess it's almost doesn't make sense, I guess, to talk about visualization and data processing in Unity. I think there's a lot of things we need to digest, but it's impossible. But Biana and I try to compress and encapsulate some necessary things to, achieve our goal to visualizing some data in a real-time environment and using Unity. So I guess this is sort of guideline to start and keep the line to while you accumulate your knowledge and experience on top of the knowledge that we are prepared for. So yeah, I mean, this is the same as the material we have in the DigitalFUTURES website. And this is the sort of material for today, right? So we have, first of all, we wanted to know the Unity interface. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the component, because Unity is more about like component-centric programming things. Again, Unity is a sort of an interaction, support interaction, right? It's like a real-time graphics thing. So interaction is really important to take advantage of the Unity, obviously, right? And UI, UI is important things to communicate between computer and people, or people and people, right? So we will talk a little bit about how UI works in the Unity environment. And then obviously, this is the most important session, right? So we are going to talk about the data. But the data in this context, we are talking a little bit about how to import data and then parse the data. Yeah, which is nothing complex, nothing crazy. And also, we need to understand the mesh, because every geometry visualizing in the Unity screen is a mesh. So I'm going to talk a little bit about mesh. And then we have a simple example to encapsulate what we have been learned today, right? These are big picture what we wanted to touch individually. And also we release this kind of link as a sort of prerequisite, because we are not going to talk the basic of C# because lack of time. So I don't know. I mean, we have a little different level of the familiar with the C# or Unity. So just for those who are not that familiar with the C#, I mean, the C# is the one of the sort of famous or useful programming language for those who want to develop something in Windows platform, because C# is developed by Microsoft. So for example, if you wanted to develop some plugin for the Grasshopper or Libid or other software, you need to understand the C#, because C# is the programming language running on top of Windows platform. So in that context, we have like a mono platform, which is one of the thought in the Unity, so that you guys can use the C# in Mac environment. So anyhow, the C# is the most necessary language for our workshop. So if you go to the Git here, I can click it. Oh, Diana, could you leave this link to our chat?
Yes, yeah. I will do that.
Great. Yeah, so there's a DigitalFUTURES link, just in case we can go to that website here. And also we have the other link, Git. So it allows us to jump to this website. Yeah, basically it's identical things, but we have a link. So also we can go to this folder. And then you guys can download this file. There's 2 options, to be honest. Actually 3 options. If you are familiar with the git command, just fetch all the data of this git. Otherwise, you can also use the GitHub desktop, which is that I use because it's very easy and straightforward with the UI. So you can fetch the data, the code from this link. Yeah. Otherwise, you can just download it. Yeah, just download it and unzip. And then you can go to Introduction to Unity folder and the asset folder. And we have an example that we, saw under Medium page. Yeah. Click the one of the example. Let's say, yeah. Click the one of the example, and then you can see some the theme file. Double click theme file, it automatically trigger your Unity, and then you guys can see the screen like that. Yeah.
So the link is in chat, but also in Discord under the GitHub channel, there is a link. So just click on that, and as NJ mentioned, either you can download it or you could do a connection with the link, so fetch the data. So this is absolutely up to you. So perhaps we could wait a minute until everybody has access to the folder. And if you have any questions or if you want to go over anything, we could certainly do that, because you will need to access the files above anything else.
Great. Yeah, once you open one of the example, and then you can see this kind of window, maybe the color palette is a little bit, possibly a little bit different than me. And also the configuration of the window also different. Yeah. So the first example is the interface, right? So we have this kind of the file with the Unity icon, which means a scene file in the Unity. So scene, what it does is basically it remember these kind of game objects or whatever light or canvas and necessary component on the scene, and then this also capture the camera other scene configuration. Yeah, so whenever you actually double click the scene file, we can jump to that scene. So this is the sort of an entry point or starting point. Okay, so you can double click it and jump to this scene file, but there's actually empty. Only we have the main camera and text light, which is the default things. So actually, you can just drag one of the window and drop here, so we can freely reorganize the Windows configuration. Yeah, which I really wanted to. I like it, this kind of configuration layout, because the inspector is one of the important panel. Whenever you click the object, we can see all sort of parameter or function. Even you can later we can attach some C# scripting to that component. Again, we can see this kind of the public value or whatever parameter that we can control. We can see all of the resources on the inspector windows, which is important, right? And also, I put the hierarchy next to inspector because the hierarchy is basically windows that print all the components that I use in the scene. which is also like important things, right? And again, we have a project. Project is basically similar to the just some windows, just like that. We can display some folder structure, So we have interface, and for example, I can go to data, yeah, and then we have a subfolder. Also, I can click the import to CSV file. Oh, now I can see the import to CSV file, right? This is basically display the hierarchy. And once I click this scene, and then I jump to this scene, and then visualizing some file that belongs to that scene, right? So these are how it works. It's nothing crazy, right? Let me double click the scene interface again. This is sort of the project folder. And we need to possibly have two different, let's say, camera, right? So one camera is this camera, right? So let me, actually we can double click it. Once you double click, it jumps to, we basically select and zoom extend for that camera, yeah. So this is a scene view. The scene view is basically just view to see overall scene. However, we have a game. Game is always, we use this camera. So for example, I'm going to click the right button on the hierarchy, and the 3D object, and I click the cube here, right? This is cube, right? But I couldn't see anything because the cube is out of my camera. So I'm gonna click the cube and then position 0, 0, 0. Yeah. So I basically reposition the cube 0, 0, 0 here. Right. So that enables us to see the cube on the camera, right? Can you see this? We have a camera here, and then this is the cube. I reposition the camera a little bit so that I can see the box in a plain way.
Maybe we could just to make sure that is everybody able to access the files and have Unity open?
If you guys have a problem, just thumbs up or let us know.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, so now we know the difference between the scene view and game view. The game view is only displayed by the main camera. Yeah. Lastly, we have this window. We can call it the console. The console window is a most important window to debug. Yeah, because we mainly use the C# code, C# scripting. So this is sort of a gateway to communicate between C# and human people in this case. Yeah, so lastly, yeah, I mean, based on your sort of needs, you guys can reorganize the display, and we can hide some windows if it's not necessary for you. So it's totally up to you. Yeah. So, but I would like to suggest this kind of configuration.